Oh, in case you were wondering, Clemson's playing UVA today. The only reason I'm saying that is number one lesson, if you're a person that's into apparel and not necessarily a team that you cheer for, if you wear it out in public, at least have the brains to know what team they're playing this week. Somebody will say, "Yeah, who you got up this week?" And you're like, "I'm not sure." That's not a fan. Mike Campbell, Clemson fan? Nah, I haven't decided yet. I don't. I haven't claimed stake on it. It's in South Carolina. That much I know. That's about it. Well, the purpose of this video has got nothing to do with football, and it's got all to do with the big day in Quantico, Virginia, a couple of days ago, when our son Trey um, got his captain promotion. And it took place at the Marine Museum. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen if you've passed the building before. If you head to Florida or whatever, um, it's an odd space shaped, weird looking building that you see from the highway, but it's a beautiful museum, and it's there's some hard, difficult uh, stories in there, but they revel in it. Um, like they had these sayings across. They had this rotunda thing, and this open air, huge rotunda, and that is where there's some a helicopter was parked, and Trey got they set up some chairs, and Trey got promoted in this area, which was quite an honor, especially since the Secretary of the Navy was the highest. A hugely powerful figure, he was the one that actually promoted Trey. And Carrie and I went up there and we put the bars. It's two bars on your thingy ding here. And leave it to me. I put them on. It's the wrong way. But I had some bad information, but it doesn't matter. It was just quite an experience. We got there early because the traffic around that area is just cuckoo, and we were there real early. And Trey got there real early, and he calls mom up on the phone. Where are you guys? She's like, "This kid is gonna have a heart attack." I'm like, he's just a little uptight, but and I understood why later on when I started seeing the situation. I'm sorry about that glare there. Um, and there were a lot of, there was probably 20, 30 chairs set up, and there were a lot of Marines starting to mill into the building. Some people were there to support a person because there were two, I think there were a total of one, two, maybe five people that got promoted or re-enlisted. So they gave them some diploma type thing, and the Secretary of Navy was a cordial guy. He was trying to be funny, and he ran a little out of steam by the time Trey was up there because they went, and nobody really knew this, but the whole thing was just kind of a mess to begin with. They didn't have enough chairs. They didn't know when the guy was coming, and stuff like that. And they didn't know that they were going to have to stand in in a line. I forget how they termed it, but in the military, when you line up, it's by rank. And not only that, in that particular line, you're supposed to be in a special place. So they got it done, I guess. They fooled us, but Trey said it was a completely not right. But it doesn't matter. He was seeing the person that got the highest ranked person that got promotion. He went last, so I could see him standing over where the people where there was like a queue for the people that were going to get their name called, and then some dude read them some proclamation, and then the the guy that was reminded me of shaped like Alfred Hitchcock kind of guy. He was cool. Del Toro was his last name. I do not recall his first name, but he was good. And we met a major that Trey works for, a woman, and she was very nice. And we met a few buddies of his. We didn't get a chance to actually glad hand all the people that came to see Trey, because as far as I know, it was just more than three people. We met this. We re-met Top. Top is I guess it's a nickname. This guy that basically recruited Trey and helped him on his journey. Without this guy's guidance and support, he wouldn't even have got into the officers program, and B, he may not have gotten through it, because this guy was a big ballast for him. And it was good to see him. He said, I've known Trey for a long time. And it was this skinny dude, older, not older, but he looked kind of weathered and probably really thin. And he wasn't all bulked up like like the majority of the crowd. But he says, yeah. I said, Top? He says, yeah, you remember me? I said, of course. He said, Trey did. I am so proud of Trey. And then that was probably the only point where I thought I was going to cry. But other than that, I felt my nerves were good. I was a little worried about him, because he wasn't sweating bullets per se, but he had this stern look about him, like, oof, he's feeling it. And so finally they call his name, and he does this little waltz up to the where where the dignitary was, and he did the nice military kind of march, and he said, you know, not something that he had practiced or nothing, but he did fine. I thought, and it was cool. We got to meet him, and he said a few words of encouragement, and he told Trey, no more excuses. No more excuses. Oh, after what he's been through, I don't think that he ever made an excuse yet, but so he wasted his time with that one. But being a captain is, what's the word? I don't know what it is. It's a big deal. And I can't really divulge much else, because it's personal. I don't know if Trey would want me to talk about it or not. But we had a nice day. I thought that the funniest moment of the ceremony was when the very first guy got called up that got promoted. I don't know. I don't remember the particulars, but he was really nervous. African American kid, I would say, definitely younger than Trey. He got up there, and he was a little bit tongue tied. And the Secretary of Navy put him on the spot, and he said, here you go. Now's your time to say a few words. And he's like, he had this look on his face. I'm like, he's going over. He's definitely going over. But he glued himself together, and he said some polite nonsense. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was gracious and cool. And when he walked by, I tried to get, I could make eye contact with him, but he was just, it wasn't happening. He just wanted to get hidden in the crowd, and he did. But the crowd went bullshit when they're clapping for him, and it was really, really nice. And we met some very special people, and Trey's mentioned so many names over the years. I don't. It's hard for me to picture people's faces. I wouldn't know what they look like to begin with, but we have chats all the time. He's a very good good as far as keeping his parents informed of what's going on in his life, and there have been a lot of things, um, and he's been to a lot of places. I just got done. I had a map in my closet I took when we left Connecticut. How that uh, managed to not be purged, I have no idea. But I put it up in the garage, and I put little thumbtacks or push pins in the various spots that Trey has spent, more than a while in his life. I mean, he started in Da Nang, and he made it to Connecticut. Once he was in Connecticut, he went to high school like kids do, and um, we took him some places, of course. But a couple big trips for him was he went to a leadership event in the DC area, so he was still young, but he's he's doing well, and so after once he got into the military, he was in officer training school in Quantico, Virginia. It's different than boot. It's like boot camp, but different. There's different, you know, it's still ball breaking work, but there's a lot more stuff involved with the officer part of it. And he managed. He got through. He definitely made it, and then he ended up in California for training. He had to go. I might have screwed that up, but he was in California. Yeah, he's in communication, so he went to California for training, and eventually he did several years. I guess I think 2 years. He was in Okinawa, and he learned a lot of stuff. He knows a lot about communications now, and he learned about people. I think that's important. And as far as leading men, I think he tried, um, but it can be a battle for sure. But I'm sure someday he'll tell some good stories, more stories that he was unable to tell us at that time. But he's so anyhow, and somewhere before that, he spent uh, a semester in Reims, France, which is I think he told me it was pointed it to me on a map. I think it's just north of Paris. It's near Paris, but it's anyhow. That was a good excuse for us to go to Europe for the first time. Carrie and I went to Europe. We were in Paris. We were in um, Amsterdam, and we were in London. And so we had a vacation in addition to seeing our son. He did not make the Amsterdam League. But Amsterdam, I got to tell you, it's not just about. See, people talk about Amsterdam, and they talk about the sex industry, and they talk about the legalized pot, and just like it sounds like New Orleans, only even crazier. But I didn't think so. There surely was that element there. There's a lot of stuff to do and see there. It is remarkably historic, and the structures and the people. It was nice, quite nice. Anyhow, so I'm a little off the beaten track. So anyhow, our son has he recently um, extended his stay in the United States Marine Corps, and he will probably uh, I don't know 2 3 years. I haven't. I'm not quite sure how much longer he's going to be in, or I don't even know how long he has been in. But I will tell you that there has been some trying, nights for us just worrying. But we know that he's a man. We know that he's grown up um, quite a bit, and we're very happy to see him situated eventually back at Quantico. He will. He lives in Northern Virginia. He's got a really nice apartment, and I'm very proud of him. He used his uh, brain, and when he bought stuff, he made sure it had a place to fit, and everything's got a place. I was shocked, truthfully, but good for him. And I like, what can you say? He's probably the best son a person could ever have. But um, we had our moments? I guess I don't really recall that we did. But he's very loyal family member. He's exceptionally close to his mother, and above, what's the word? He's cool. Yeah, he's not a giant sports fan. But he is so smart about certain things. It just I get lost within 5 freaking minutes of him talking about this or that. Um, and I won't tell you his levels of his areas of expertise because it's not important. What I will tell you is that um, we had a historic few days with him. Um, being with him and talking about his next, what's forthcoming for him, and about um, generally just being happy, and it was great. So adios for now, and semper fi.